Good, happy Sunday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Good Morning, New Hampshire. Let's get started. First up, Animal Control removes 16 animals from apartment in Manchester. Let's take a look.
AutoFair Volkswagen of Nashua makes it happen with our absolute best deals of the year during the AutoFair year-end clearance event. Get our biggest savings on our best selection. Now lease new 2017 Jettas, just $39 a week. Buy for $49 a week. Both are with zero down, sign, then drive. AutoFair makes it happen. AutoFairVW.com.
AutoFair makes it happen.
16 animals have been removed from a Manchester apartment after a call came in about a strong odor. The smell was coming from the second floor unit on Wilson Street. Firefighters say a chemical used to seal floors was left on a gas heater, causing the fumes to spread. The building was evacuated. One woman from the third floor was taken to the hospital to be checked out, but no injuries have been reported. 10 dogs and 6 cats were taken from the second floor.
Health department shut down that apartment is uninhabitable, and the city's animal control officer took care of the pets.
Firefighters say farm animals, including pot-bellied pigs, chickens, and goats, were taken from a shed on that very same property 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and there you go on that report. One person airlifted to hospital after car fire in Merrimack. Let's take a listen to the video.
Nashua makes it happen with our absolute best deals of the year during the AutoFair year-end clearance event. Get our biggest savings on our best selection. Now lease new 2017 Jettas, just $39 a week. Buy for $49 a week. Both are with zero down, sign, then drive. AutoFair makes it happen. AutoFairVW.com.
AutoFair makes it happen.
Charred ground and burnt trees mark the area where a car was fully engulfed in flames just before 4:30 this morning. A man named Scott, a Navy veteran on his way to work, noticed the flickering light in the woods and pulled over.
I walked around the car to see how many people were in there, and thankfully only one.
The driver, identified as 23-year-old Dakota Willett of Burlington, Massachusetts, was still in the car when Scott arrived.
Assisted her getting out of the vehicle and put her out. She was on fire at the time.
She suffered burn injuries, mostly to her upper body. That's the reason she was med flighted to Boston.
According to state police, it appears Willett lost control of her vehicle and left the road, striking trees off the side of the Everett Turnpike just south of exit 10.
Fortunately, we were able to arrive simultaneously with the ambulance and the engine, so our ambulance personnel dealt with the patient, and we set about extinguishing the fire, making sure that there was nobody else in or around the vehicle.
Firefighters say it's that timing paired with Scott's heroic actions that helped to save Willett's life.
It made a big difference that she was out of the car prior to the fire getting to the point it did when we arrived.
Oh, that's good. I don't want anybody to die if I could prevent it.
The crash remains under investigation. There was at least one other driver who pulled over to help. State police are encouraging anyone who was on scene to contact them at State Police Troop B.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Ten-alarm fire burns for hours in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Let's take a listen to the video.
We just recapped a little bit of this. So many people losing their homes tonight. That's
right, Carrie. Very difficult situation. Lots of people standing by here on the sidelines, their homes going up in flames, waiting for information from officials. I want to give you a look at what we're seeing out here on the ground. They're still dumping water on the church. They're having some issues getting into the attic where there's still some hot spots. The eaves, we're told, are still holding a lot of heat, and firefighters 4 hours later still trying to take a hold of that building, cool down that hot spot. And then if you actually look behind the church, there's several buildings just within an eye shot of where we're standing that firefighters are still dumping water on even 4 hours later. As the chief just mentioned, believed to be 8 buildings involved, could be as many as 11, and the difficulty in fighting this fire is the close proximity of these buildings to each other. As many as 60 people displaced there. That's an early estimate. And of course, this is going to be evolving throughout the evening as they learn more information about the cause of this fire. Right now, they believe that it was tied to a building that was under construction adjacent to the church. But again, these are things they're going to be figuring out throughout the night. Firefighters anticipate they will be standing here through the night. Other issues that they're facing right now, the fire was so hot, it was burning up the power lines. So Eversource shut down power to this area, which also shut off streetlights and stoplights. So even traffic in the surrounding area has been a difficult obstacle. I want to give you now some information about the streets that were involved. Berkshire Street at Cardinal Medeiros Way, Van Dyne, Plymouth, York Street, and York Lane. I believe, Carrie, you had mentioned that before, but we're going to reiterate that for you. These are the streets that we know are affected right now. 10 alarms as of 5 o'clock, and doesn't seem to be increasing as far as aid goes right now, but of course the firefight still very much underway. We're going to try to check in with you in a little bit here with the newest information. Of course, we've got lots of people out here on the scene who are eager to figure out if their home was involved. Several people we talked to have lost cars, been displaced from their housing, and waiting to see what the extent of the damage is going to be in their home. A lot of residual damage to neighboring structures just because of the massive amounts of water in this area. If you look in the street, which you can't really see from where we're standing right now, there's easily a foot of water, 2 feet in some places, just from the firefight, which, as I mentioned before, is going on 4 hours now. Carrie?
Talking with a lot of people there are still trying to figure out if they are facing any damage. What was it like for you just trying to get to the scene? Where did you have to park? How long did you have to walk just to try to reach this area?
It was a bit of a nightmare, I got to tell you. We actually, we got here probably an hour or so after it had begun, and by that time there were a lot of the streets that had been blocked off to traffic, police cars blocking the entrances to those streets, and then tape blocking foot traffic to other areas. Really difficult to figure out where we needed to be as media as well, because police and firefighters were trying to sort of corral people, keep them safe as the firefight was still evolving, and find a common area where people could gather and wait for information. So those streets are all still, for the most part, shut down. There has not been a whole lot of information as to which streets are safe to drive on, especially because the streetlights are out, as I mentioned before. It's kind of just willy-nilly traffic trying to figure out where they can park, where they can go. But we are at Donnelly Field. This is the media staging area, and as I mentioned before, a huge group of Cambridge residents here gathering in this field. This is where the firefighters are coming to get their supplies and stuff. You can see behind me there's a rehab area here where firefighters are getting, first aid and hot liquids and stuff to keep them warm as well, because it's very cold. And
okay, and there you go on that report. Trump Organization denies reports of planned expansion in Taiwan. The Trump Organization said Saturday that the company has no plans to expand in Taiwan and that rumors to the country are false. Oakland Fire kills at least 9 at warehouse party. Let's take a listen to the video.
Allowing the search as long as it takes to recover all the victims of Friday night's massive warehouse fire in Oakland.
We have recovered 9 victims at this point. We are rushing their fingerprints to identify them and then notify family members as we get those identifications.
Bob Muley was inside an artist studio in the warehouse when the fire broke out. He warned others to run. But before he could leave, he heard a friend, a man he calls Pete, crying out for help.
He's like, I broke my ankle. I need you to pull me out. I need you to pull me out. I need you to pull me out.
The flames burned Muley as he tried to rescue his friend. Soon, the fire forced him to flee.
The fire was just getting too hot, and the smoke was just getting too bad, and I had to leave him there, and I wasn't able to get him out. I really don't think Pete made it.
Even when the fire was out, the building was too unsafe for emergency responders to enter. The roof collapsed, and debris littered the area in what was called a live-work art space. This morning, the community of Oakland is remembering the victims. The Golden State Warriors held a moment of silence for the victims before the start of their NBA game. While several dozen people who were feared to be victims of the fire were found safe by authorities, more than 24 more are still missing, and police expect the death toll to rise.
We know there are bodies that are in there that we can't get to, that have been seen but not recovered.
I'm just happy to be alive.
Well, it could take another 24 to 48 hours to remove and recover all of the bodies. Given the complexity of this operation, cadaver dogs may be used. As you can imagine, authorities are asking for patience, for all the questions that are out there, including why this happened and why so many people were unable to get out. There's been an outpouring in this community. You have a lot of generosity, including the Oakland Raiders and the Golden State Warriors stepping up. Collectively, all of the professional sports teams are pledging to give more than $100,000 to help the families of the victims.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Now let's turn things over to the weather. And here's a live look on radar right now. As you see on radar, we have some clear skies with a few little clouds in the area for today. Now let's take a look at your weather on our weather system. Our weather on our weather system, your wind speed peak is 8 miles per hour. Average is 2. Current is 8 in between west and northwest. Your temperature is 30 degrees. Humidity is 66%. Your dew point is 20 degrees. Your forecast is partly cloudy. And your pressure is 30.09. Now let's take a look at your weather for today and tonight. Your weather for today and tonight. Today, abundant sunshine, highs in the upper 30s to 40s. Tonight, clear this evening, then becoming cloudy after midnight, low 24 degrees, winds light and variable. And now let's take a look at your next 7-day forecast. And here's a look at your next 7-day forecast. Today, bright and chilly, 38 degrees. And snow possible for Monday morning commute. Snow will likely arrive Monday morning during the morning commute hours. As of now, snow totals for Rockingham County, a dusting to 1 inch. Temps will be in the 20s and allow snow to stick on pavement and cause slippery conditions in the area. And we will keep you updated on the snow conditions. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Good Morning New Hampshire. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.